News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Monica Ricks. That's the closing bell on Wall Street. The Dow adding 374 points today. The Nasdaq was up 183, and the S&P also added 57 points. The 10-year Treasury yield was down 4.3%. The 2-year Treasury yield down 3.8%. Oil prices also fell immediately after today's Iranian attacks on U.S. forces in Qatar. The price of crude now down nearly 6% to about $68 a barrel. Analysts say those attacks were largely seen as symbolic and unlikely to trigger broader economic fallout. Iran had vowed a proportionate response following U.S. strikes on Iranian nuclear sites over the weekend. But Qatar says missiles from Iran were intercepted and there were no casualties today. Bloomberg's Jumana Bersechi has more from Dubai.
Qatar have been actively mediating the U.S.-Iran nuclear discussions. It's pretty surprising that Iran would go down the route of actually firing shots at a U.S. base in Qatar, which has been trying to play the diplomatic role. And actually, if you look at Qatar's response today, they're pretty angry at the Iranian regime. They said, we condemn this attack. And so as far as inter-regional politics are concerned, this may also mark a turning point as well.
Bloomberg's Jumana Bersechi in Dubai. Iran says it targeted the base because it was far from populated areas in Qatar. But a source tells Bloomberg that strike was expected by the U.S. and its allies. More on that from Bloomberg's Dana Kraish.
It was very well telegraphed, and we saw the Iranians come out and say, we have really good relations with Qatar. We're not here to ruin these ties, because they do. And Qatar is among the few that actually has regular visits from Qatar and from Iranian officials back and forth.
Bloomberg's Dana Kraish reporting from Dubai. We are also getting analysis from Michael Allen, who's the managing editor at Beacon Global Strategies. He says today's attack from Iran may be one and done.
I think it's basically over against the United States. They did their symbolic attack on Al Udeid Air Force Base, telegraphed, probably coordinated between intermediaries. What I don't think, though, is that it's over with Israel. I think Israel, by the way, not only is going to continue to prosecute its target list, at least for this week and maybe beyond, but to me, as long as they have air superiority in Iran, I think Benjamin Netanyahu is going to carry on a campaign of where they have an opportunity that's going to be quite opportunistic. They're going to go for it.
Michael Allen with Beacon Global Strategies. Nations in the region still on edge, and members of Congress here in the U.S. want answers. They'll have to wait till tomorrow, though, to get a classified briefing on the U.S. strikes. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries isn't happy about it. He says, per the Constitution, the president is required to alert lawmakers from both parties of any military action that's not in self-defense. And many members of Congress didn't know these strikes were happening until after they happened.
The use of military force, which is offensive in nature, must be approved by the House and the Senate. That's according to the Constitution. It's not optional, Donald. It's not.
House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries on Capitol Hill. The Trump administration has been saying it still wants a diplomatic solution in the Middle East. President Trump posting on social media there will hopefully be no further hate now that Iran has responded to U.S. strikes on its nuclear facilities. The president said no Americans were harmed in today's attacks, and he thanked Iran for giving the U.S. early notice. That's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Monica Ricks, and this is Bloomberg.